Well, I wanted to share my story about the 4 crowns that you redid on my bottom teeth
Yeah, great.
that changed my life. So I had, gosh, this goes back 15 plus years.
Okay.
I chipped a tooth
Mm-hmm.
when I was in my 40s,
Mm-hmm.
one of my bottom front teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Went in to see my doctor. Back then I lived in Everett. And initially it was, well, we can't just replace one tooth. You need a crown.
Mm-hmm.
We'll replace 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the middle of this planning and discussion, they said, well, actually, we actually need to do 4. Okay, fine, let's do 4. And these 4 were the ugliest teeth.
Mm.
I felt, I can still remember the feeling of looking in the mirror. Not only was the color wrong, the shape was wrong, and I wanted to cry because there was nothing I could do about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like they were sticking out of my mouth. That every time I closed my front teeth over my mouth, I could feel my bottom teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So I kept having to go in. They would grind them. They're grinding now the polish off, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the color is completely inconsistent. It ended out that I was so unhappy that they said, fine, we're not going to charge you, because anybody could see by looking at my teeth.
Yeah.
Like when I would smile, that is what my eye would always go to. And so I was, well, like many of your patients, self-conscious about my smile. And that changes your life.
Yeah, it does.
When you don't want to smile, when you don't want to show your teeth, and constantly thinking about how you smile because of your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
When I met you and you asked me, what do you think about, I'm getting emotional now. What do you think about your teeth? And to even talk about my teeth, like to even discuss it with anyone, would just get me, like I'm feeling right now, so upset, because it would take me back to that moment of looking in the mirror and realizing I've made a big mistake. I should have just left that chipped tooth alone.
Right.
And you said, when you're ready, and this is what you always say, when you come in and you explain choices to me, like I have 2 teeth in my mouth right now that at some point will need crowns, and you say, it's not urgent right now, but within the next year or 2, let's do something about these before they become a bigger problem and you need a tooth implant, and who needs an emergency visit to your dentist, right?
Right.
Let's be proactive. So these teeth, you said, when you're ready, we can change this. So the day that I was ready, I came in. It was like a spa experience. That's how I described it to everyone. I came in so relaxed. And I'm one of these people who, when you get a shot of Novocaine, like it wears off really fast on me. Like people with red hair, of course my hair is white now. Some of us metabolize. So that, and you kept me appropriately numb and relaxed to keep my anxiety down, which, would have been sky high had I not been here. And because my trust level was at, it was when my trust level with you, which happened very quickly, was to a point where I felt like I'm in the best hands for somebody to finally fix this issue that has changed my life in the wrong way. So I'm sitting there, and you're coming in and you're talking, and we're having a good time. Your staff is coming in. I'm watching wonderful television programs. Would you like some water? I was so doted on. And again, it did feel like a spa. You reveal the end result of my teeth, and I cried.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I couldn't wait to show the world. Like, not that I'm the one that noticed mostly, right? Most people don't notice, but in every single picture I would notice. And I just couldn't wait to, like, put me in front of a camera.
Yeah. You're not holding back anymore.
Not holding it back anymore.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what you see when I walk around the office and I see these beautiful pictures, before and after pictures. You're magic with people. It's extraordinary.
Thank you. I love it. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah. And especially for someone like yourself who is a professional speaker.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, that, and the lower teeth, especially when,
yes.
you know, when we smile, we're mostly upper teeth, but when we speak, guess what? Those are the lower teeth. That's when you see the lower teeth.
That's right.
So, I mean, if you want to just look in the mirror, what I tell people is, while you're looking in the mirror, say, I don't show my lower teeth when I talk.
Impossible.
Yeah, when I talk, I don't show my lower teeth. And they're always showing their lower teeth.
Of course, yes.
It always gets a lot of laughs, you know, because at least the top 50% of the lower teeth, very few people do not show lower teeth when they talk. Some people don't. Most people do. But so we do a little exercise sometimes. But just to have a little bit of fun. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But someone that is aware of speaking and how they look on camera like you is going to be, I mean, that's going to be amplified, right? That's going to have a big impact on you emotionally.
How the light hits your teeth.
Yep. And the emotional
huge.
Effect of that, because you know how much speaking can change, or holding back can change your speaking. And a lot of people aren't as sensitive to that as you are.
Yeah, right.
And you're teaching that every day. So
I am.
It was such a privilege to meet you, and I've always felt that way. You know, I knew right away that we were going to get along great.
Yeah.
And we did. Yeah. So you know, we love being around you every day, and so I know we've taken a lot of pictures together.
Yes.
And so I knew that I could learn a lot about speaking from you. You know, and kind of work on some of my speaking like weaknesses.
Yeah, well, your confidence and your comfort level. I mean, you've hired a professional to produce this podcast, and you come across. I've watched you over the years. You know, your confidence and how you come across on camera has just. I mean, that's why I always say you're the dentist to the stars. That's why you're ready. You're ready for Hollywood.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to move next week. Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
We're going to turn this from a podcast into a television series.
There you go.
Right.
Right. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. I'm going to sell everything. You know, move to LA. No. We're having a great time right now. I love the people I work with, and the patients in Skagit Valley. Yeah. Have been great. And
they are great.
Yeah. And so we're having such a good time. And you know, there's always the next project. Yeah. So you know, but yeah, we're having a great time, and you know, I think that I can't take all the credit. The technology has improved a lot. You know, so in order, we're almost everyone's using 3D scanners now. So the accuracy's gone up.
Yes. Yeah. That's the amazing thing. Going back to my tooth experience. To have 4 crowns done, I come in the morning, have the spa experience, and by 2:00 in the afternoon, I'm walking out with 4 beautiful teeth.
Right. Yep.
That's amazing to me. In the past, it would have been this 2-step grinding process, right?
Right.
You come in, you have the fake teeth for, that's how it was the first time. Yeah. You have this like little plate of mush that are supposed to be temporary teeth in your mouth, and you're hoping it doesn't fall out. And if it does, you have a little packet of glue just in case, you know, because what's underneath would look horrific if you or anybody saw it. But in your case, I just couldn't believe how fast it was that you can have brand new teeth in your mouth, 4 of them inside of hours. And they're perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, there's been 3 or 4 different technologies that have improved: hardware, software, chemistry, and I think the last one would be style.
Well, the way that you invest in technology, that's the other thing that I've noticed over the years. Like, you spare no expense when it comes to cutting edge technology. What's new, what works best. Yeah. What's best for the patient. Right. You know, there are some dentists who maybe can't afford or decide not to, maybe hold on to their older equipment, but you're always at the cutting edge of technology.
Yeah, I mean, and that's from people I've worked with, you know. Sun Valley, or actually when I was still in my 20s, I think, late 20s, Dr. Zeno, an Italian dentist outside of Madison, Wisconsin, Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. He was one of the first adopters in CEREC, and I worked for him, and he taught me a lot. So when I had my own office, I was ready. I was ready. So after that point, the chemistry improved. The cameras improved a little bit. The hardware, the chemistry improved.
What is the chemistry about?
Yeah, I mean, the crowns that you had, the ugly crowns that you were mentioning, were probably porcelain fused to metal.
Yes, they were.
So metal is like a thin layer at the bottom. The problem with it is it blocks light.
Yes, it did.
So it's opaque.
Yes,
light
it
does
was.
not shine through it. And natural
That's
teeth.
why they looked gray.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, and especially at the gum line. Right.
Horrible.
So natural teeth actually glow, kind of like a jar, like a alabaster jar, probably similar to alabaster stone.
Oh, nice.
Teeth have similar optical characteristics as alabaster stone. So a candle behind the stone makes the stone glow.
Yes.
Teeth have that same characteristic, and if you put, a metal tooth, it's not obviously it's going to reflect the light, and then they would stack sand, type of sand, that would become like a shade of white on top of the metal to for it to look like a tooth. Now this is technologies that's been replaced now. We don't need to use that anymore. Some of the chemistry that I'm referring to is Ivoclar has a product called Emax. It's lithium disilicate, which is a type of glass. A type, you could say it's like a replacement for the hydroxyapatite in your enamel.
Oh, wow.
Right. And it started out as a chemistry called Empress, and then Emax was Empress to the max. So Emax kind of changed the industry 25 years ago or more. And when Emax came out, that really changed the strength. So you could get something fairly strong, 400 or 500 kilopascals of edge strength. So that is how an edge is measured. Gold, obviously, it will bend, but porcelain will break. Enamel has about 200. Emax has about 400 or 500.
Oh,
zirconia has like
stronger than
800 or 900
teeth.
Yeah, stronger than teeth, stronger than the edge. I mean, whatever would break your teeth might break Emax, but it's not. It's certainly a little bit stronger and tougher than teeth. Okay. But it has to have a certain thickness, about the thickness of your enamel, and it's bonded to the surface. But that really changed, and what I learned from Dr. Zeno, I carried to my own practice, and then and from there we just improved on that. The chemistry keeps improving. Other companies have different types of lithium disilicate. They have their own. It's produced in a lab where it's and it's cooked. So through the process, kind of starts by looking clear or amber colored, like an amber, like an IPA beer.
Yeah. Okay.
And it looks a lot like that when it's like half cooked. But as it goes further down the process, it becomes kind of like a cloudy purple, and then it ends up tooth colored, which is like a cloudy white. And that cloudy white shade matches, the shade we're going for in your case.
Right.
And then and it's pretty strong stuff.
Yes.
And there's margin parameters that we're dealing with. Are we going to polish it? Are we going to glaze it? And so that kind of is taken into effect, especially at the margin and the contacts, like between your teeth where you floss.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm polishing, sometimes I'm characterizing with glaze to get that effect. And then the last part of the factors is the style. So, there's going to be different levels of talent when it comes to the dentist on how to shape teeth, like what are we looking for? The embrasures, which is like the little triangle on the edges, sometimes they're really a straight line, and sometimes there's more bumps between the teeth.
Right.
So generally, we want the embrasures to be more closed as we're closer to the midline. And as we go to the outside, embrasures slowly open up. And that's what people don't know it, but they're like, yeah, that's great. I like that.
Yes. Yeah.
And so,
And what looks natural versus what looks fake.
Yeah. I mean, if you have all your embrasures closed or like there's no differences, that's going to look like denture teeth, right?
Yes,
that's going to look
denture
like,
teeth.
You're going to look like, hey, those aren't real.
Yes.
Some people want that, you know,
really?
and a lot of times I'll do a test drive, like a mock-up,
Yeah.
you know, just to kind of like bring out those preferences for people, you know. If they're saying something that I'm not sure they really want it.
Yes, right. Wow.
And we'll do a mock-up and say, here you go, what do you think? And then we can easily make changes and then scan that prototype, do a 3D scan that can be
I remember
basically,
that part.
you know, delivered to the lab or like used for a prototype or like a template, you know. They even have now where you can, a mother who needs a makeover because of dentistry or for some reason that needs a smile donor. And this is astonishing and wonderful. And she will actually get a 3D scan of the daughter donated to the mother. So all you have to do is scan the daughter who has like the different, because this mother has like a unique shape, like the unique shape of her teeth.
Okay.
That has been lost.
Oh, I see. Okay. Oh, like she's lost her teeth.
In some cases, she's through excessive wear or bad dentistry, she has lost that. So she doesn't remember how she used to look when she was 18.
Yeah, right. Okay, I get it.
In her 20s, right?
Yeah, right.
So you're going through different designs. There's a lot of different designs, and it's like, that's not me. That's not me. That for some reason, that's not me. But she's got a daughter that might be like in her 20s. That's it, right? So scan the daughter's teeth. That's a 3D template that can be used for the mom. And it's wonderful. It's beautiful. So in some cases, you can get lucky there, you know.
Well, the other thing you're really good at is color. I mean, not just the shape and the artistry and all of that, and part of that is the color. I remember in like going through, deciding which shade, right? And you have just an eye for it, this artist eye. But what I've always noticed about you too, and the way you are with your staff, is you always ask them for their opinion. Yeah. And you value their opinion. Yeah. And empower them. Also, I've seen some of your staff just in a very short period of time go from sort of learning mode to doing mode, and doing things that are things that dentists used to do. Where you're uplifting your team to do the best work for everybody. Right.
Yeah, I mean, Giselle, for example, I trust Giselle. Her eyes. Gracie has great eyes. She can look from across the room and she'll know the shade. So that's why I'm always asking, because I want to hear their opinion. Yeah. And I love that, because I don't always make the right call. It's something that can be changed. We always do a try-in. Yeah. But Giselle, does great with that. Kylie's also excellent. I trust her. Rachel also has an eye for it, and Montana, she's wonderful to work with. I think, is that your hygienist, Montana?
I've had different hygienists along, and they've all been wonderful. Like, I know each one of those people that you've mentioned.
Okay, I thought it was Montana. Maybe it was Rachel.
Wonderful staff. I think the last time it was Rachel. So what do you do, going back to those old crowns that we used to get? Because I have 2 of those in my mouth now, with more recession, becoming longer in the tooth because of age. And you said, genetics might have a little bit to do with it as well. Sure. In my case, but so I'm starting to see on these back crowns that metal that you talked about on the inside of the old crowns, and it looks bad. So what can somebody like myself do about that? Can you replace an old crown with a new one? And what is the process for that?
An old crown can be separated easily, replaced. You can do a veneer on the crown if that's all you don't like. Everything else is nice.
Oh, you can put a veneer on a crown.
Yeah, of
How
course.
does that work?
Yeah. It might not have the same strength as a veneer on enamel.
Okay.
But if you need to, if the factors of taking that crown off, for example, sometimes someone has an implant on a front tooth that has like an unusual implant type. That's a complicated connection. It's way below the gum line. It would be easier than replacing that implant, just putting a veneer over the porcelain. So you can bond to porcelain or zirconia if you need to.
And that's just a really thin layer that you bond on top of the tooth. Yeah,
you would need to use air abrasion, and you would need to prepare the surface.
Yes.
As best you can. But then it would be better to just put a veneer on the porcelain than to replace the whole implant.
For sure, and more cost effective.
Definitely.
Too, right?
Yeah.
How long do veneers last?
Those factors are multiple, different, but I like to say 15 years, 15 to 20. Composite veneers are direct veneers. Porcelain veneers are kind of like stone or tile or glass. Those are going to keep their color longer. And so they're going to last
different
a little
grades
bit longer.
and then different price points for different grades. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, people replace their veneers for a few reasons. Usually it's that gum line reason because their gums are slowly receding. So they're going to replace their veneers if their gums are showing the old color, basically, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I get it.
Because all we can do is slow down aging, right? So
as
we can't
best
reverse
we
it.
can.
Yeah, right. So if we can slow it down, that's wonderful. Like that's what we're going for, right?
Right, that's what we're going for.
Yeah. But people replace veneers usually because of the natural aging process. It's not always because of chips and fractures, although that can happen. But usually it's because of uncovering the margin, the edge.
Okay.
And then people want to change the color. And usually people aren't as bold enough at the beginning. I wouldn't go super bright white without translucency.
Right.
So there's two factors in the color. There's the shade, how white is it? Also the translucency, how does it transmit light? So if it's too translucent, if it's too far on the translucency, it starts to kind of look a little bit gray.
That's how my other teeth were. Plus they had that gray underneath or that color underneath, so they... translucent teeth kind of appear gray over time. As we go to opacity, teeth that are too opaque, now you're talking about teeth that kind of look fake. Bright too
white.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people want other people to know that they've got, veneers.
Oh.
Right?
Really?
If you want that Hollywood schnazzy,
Hollywood,
I can afford these teeth kind of thing, like jewelry.
I've seen those.
But I would say that most of my patients want to try to pull it off.
As natural, like these are my teeth.
Exactly.
That's how I feel, yeah.
Like they want to keep people guessing. Okay? They're like, ooh, those are nice, natural.
Yes, right. You were fortunate as a kid to have a great dentist and orthodontist, look like, wow.
Yeah.
Lucky
so that's usually what we're going for.
Yeah.
And sometimes, they want that. They don't know it. Maybe they've had old crowns that are too white. They're not used to the translucency until they see it.
What about a tooth? Like I have one of the teeth in my mouth that you pointed out that's going to need a crown at some point in the near future. I don't like the shape of this tooth right now in my mouth. So when I get this replaced, is there a way, like it seems smaller than the rest and it has like a weird angle to it. Is there a way for you to make it look better when you replace it with a crown?
Yeah, I'm really excited about artificial intelligence in dentistry, right? So the AI now in the crown design process is astonishing.
Really? Yes? Tell me more.
It's pretty cool. So if we were to replace a crown, the catalog of teeth, the intelligence in the software is going to analyze all the wear patterns of your other teeth, anything in the field of view.
Wow.
Also, it's going to go into like certain catalogs of teeth, and within 15 to 20 seconds, it'll come up with a design that's pretty close. That design can be changed, and lately what I've been doing is I've been making changes, that I think are better.
Yes.
And then after seating the crown, adjusting the adjustments that I do based on the bite or whatever, guess what? I'm adjusting what I changed. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
like I'm realizing now that I'm the limiting factor. That I need to just leave it alone or make very few changes, big changes. Make very few big changes. Like I'll adjust the contact area for like floss that's really smooth and tight. Like people have that satisfying like click when they floss. They snap the floss.
Yes, right.
So
yes.
So I've got my own preferences with that, and so I don't want to take people away from what they're used to. But as far as like the AI that goes now into the crown design or the veneer design, it's pretty good, and it's going to get better. But it's already really impressive. So there's going to be factors. We're probably not going to try to take your new crown very far from your old one.
Yeah.
But there might be some design changes. Usually what I'm seeing is old crowns that people have are too big. That's usually like more often
they
they're too
are
big.
big. Yeah. Yeah. I think because of the way they were built with the different layers of things.
The old way, it requires thickness.
Yeah. I mean, I can feel it. Like if I put my fingers inside my mouth and feel those old crowns, they're much wider than the crowns right next to them that you created.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So usually, the correct size is smaller than that old crowns, a little bit smaller,
and that
a noticeable effect.
And that might have something also to do with, I mean, I can just imagine a tooth in your mouth that's bigger than it's meant to be.
Yep.
Can affect a lot of things negatively.
Right. Yeah, you bet. I mean, for one thing, it traps, like food between the teeth, right?
Drives
if it's too
me
big.
crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Drives me crazy. I can't eat a spinach salad in public, and I have to go to the bathroom, spit out the water, and, until all the stuff quits falling out of my mouth. And then I'm safe. I've looked, maybe floss a little bit. But you're right. That's where it traps. That's why I need to get those crowns redone. That's one of the reasons why.
The contour,
it can't be good for the gums.
The contour of your crowns or your teeth is extremely important. Extremely important. And so, this is something that there's a big difference in talent when it comes to labs that aren't as careful about that contour and the way the crown's designed too. As the tooth's shaped and it emerges from the gum tissue, it has to follow a certain contour.
Yeah.
Or there are some side effects to bad contour, like
a
flossing.
shelf.
Yeah, like a shelf.
Like it creates a shelf where everything sits on top of it.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So can we talk a little bit about insurance?
Yeah, sure.
Since insurance, I mean, I remember back when dental insurance was quite generous and inexpensive. I mean, I used to sell it back right out of college. I was an insurance agent for 7 years.
Right.
And for $30 a month, you could have a benefit of thousands of dollars a year in coverage, at least $2,000 for a crown. Now it's like $1,000 and you're lucky.
Yep.
And then maybe 2 preventive visits.
Sure.
But now, of course, it costs much more than $35 a month. So as the benefits are becoming less generous or people, close to my age or older than me, let's say on Medicare, and maybe they, maybe they don't have dental coverage at all.
Right.
What options, like what should we be budgeting? As we get older, most of us seem to need more dental care, not less.
Right. Yep.
What's a budget, and then what are some ways to think about maybe insurance? Like I know you offer an insurance plan that we intend to go on in the very near future.
Yeah, I mean, the insurance the dental insurance industry is, I guess, relatively new, maybe 30 years. It's not, it's probably 2 generations old.
Yeah. Wow. That's right.
And I think that, like, I'm going to give the analogy of like airline tickets, right? They've also become really competitive now. I mean, airline tickets haven't really changed, even though the inflation's changed a lot.
Yeah.
Airline tickets are about the same price as they were, a couple of generations ago, right?
Right.
I mean, when I was a kid, we were lucky to take like 1 trip a year.
Exactly.
And that was a big deal, right? That was, it was a big expense. So when dental insurance first came out, I think that the maximum benefit per year was $1,000 or $1,500. This is before I was a dentist, so it was generous, yeah. Comparative, like, to what the cost of a crown might be, like $300, right?
Wow.
For example, maybe a filling was like less than $100.
Right.
And even though procedures have changed, budgets have changed,
technology
payrolls
has changed.
Technology has changed, like, but the price of, the annual maximum stayed about the same, right? So, and why is that? Well, I mean, it's probably market competition. Dental insurance has become just a marketing plan. Yeah, it's just, that's it. It's a coupon that goes in between you and your dentist.
A coupon, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
It's similar to kind of like, like you could sell a coupon book.
Yes.
Right? For restaurants in the area, or like car wash. Or let's say a restaurant, like a restaurant coupon book. This is somebody's, they've got a magazine that they want to sell. And they got all the different restaurants and coupons for the restaurants. So they're gonna go to the restaurants and say, "Do you want to participate?" And then they're gonna sell the coupon book to the general public, and it's gonna have coupons for different things. And like one restaurant might want to have like free steaks on Thursdays.
Yes, right, yeah.
Right. But unfortunately, like, that steak is only like before 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
And so now it's 6:30. Sorry, but you're at the restaurant, right? You might as well eat.
Yeah.
So, but you can't use the coupon, right?
Uh-huh.
And so these restaurants feel like they have to buy or participate, give away the free steaks or whatever they are, appetizers or whatever. They feel like they need to do this to get clients, right?
Yes, yeah.
Or maybe they're like a new restaurant. And the customers, they feel like, hey, I'm not going out to eat without a coupon book. Of course not. That would be like, who would want to do that, right? Because it's so expensive to eat out.
Yes, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So the general public in this community feels like they have to have their coupon book that costs $700 a year, but you get $1,500 worth of savings.
If you use all the coupons.
If you use coupons.
Yes, right. Which means you're going out a lot and spending a lot.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're going out a lot, spending a lot. You maybe have unnecessary procedures.
Yes.
You're buying things that you wouldn't ordinarily do just to utilize it.
Correct.
And then also the feeling like, hey, gosh, it's time for a new coupon book. And I don't even really think we used it, did we? Did we use it?
No, it's still in the drawer.
Yeah, it's still in the drawer. We didn't even use it.
Exactly.
And we paid $700 last year, and we didn't even use it. But that money's gone. Meanwhile, the guy that's running this coupon system,
making bank.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cha-ching. And that, unfortunately, that happens in America way too much. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the salaries of the CEOs, but insurance CEOs are under scrutiny right now. And in dentistry, if you find a provider that you trust that has reasonable fees, might have like a system to save you, directly.
Yes. Yeah.
So the concept, like defining the term insurance, might not be the appropriate term.
Yeah.
Right? But people are just trying to have reasonable fees, kind of like concierge medicine.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Medical doctors that they have enough clients that trust them, so they don't participate in the big
Yeah.
the big health system.
Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I mean,
It's almost like prepaying something for something that absolutely you will use. That's essential to your health, like having your teeth looked at and cleaned twice a year.
Right, exactly.
It's essential. Yeah. So the insurance program that you offer, can you share about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's basically just a 2-for-1 deal on cleanings and checkups, and when I do comprehensive dentistry, for example, you want to have crowns replaced. I don't mind sharing that with you because I want to see my dentistry last for many years. So I want to make sure I get to see you for a follow-up. So a lot of times we'll include, like cleanings and checkups for at least a year, you know, and make sure that my dentistry, lasts a long time.
Oh, wow. That's great. Added value.
Added value. Yep. And so that's it. That's all. I mean, when I realized that a dentist can only see 1,800 people a year as active patients.
Is that right? Really?
Well,
one dentist?
There's different ways of defining it.
Okay.
So if I see more, defining active patients,
Okay.
that's, I mean, the strictest definition of an active patient would be like, how many people have an appointment right now? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like if you just take a snapshot.
Is your schedule every day?
And so, like some dental offices that accept like every single insurance plan under the sun, you know what I mean? Even the bad ones. They are maybe booked out for a long time, but they're so busy that they start to demonstrate behaviors that are like, how do I say this? Dismissive behaviors. Unknowingly. These are nice. These are nice guys.
Such as
you never see the person, or you're really short. Hey, Rebecca, nice to see you.
Yes.
I gotta go. Okay, Dr. Perry, he's always in a hurry.
Yes. Yeah. Something that you when I come in, I know that I get to have a conversation with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're,
I get that. I get that. And going back to how much money can you really make when you are dealing with all of these insurance companies, all of their rules, all of their rejections for things that, I mean, I've had that situation like, well, you didn't get pre-approval. I know, but you would have approved it, right? Well, we're not going to approve it because you didn't ask first.
Yep.
And then a year later, they finally cave after appealing and appealing and appealing it. It's insane.
They're just following the contract.
Right, following the contract.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the dark side, the dark meetings, there are bonuses and there are systems where they encourage those kind of deny claims.
I'm absolutely sure of it.
Oh yeah, and they're going to bonus their people and they're going to limit utilization.
Yeah,
that's the bad word.
Limit utilization. That's right.
So they don't want you to know about what your benefits are. For example, they're not going to tell you or encourage you to go get your cleanings and checkups. Even though it's provided. But we've just raised this whole culture because we've got marble buildings and huge marketing budgets.
Yeah, that's right.
And big stadiums with insurance industries names and people, and they say, we're interested in your health. We're looking out for you. You know what I mean? We're looking out for like, oh yeah, you have to. We're the providers of health here, and we have all these providers that we provide you. So I think people are just confused. I think in the United States, they're not as confused in other countries. I don't think they're as confused in Canada for sure, like about it.
Well, and you as a dentist running a business, if you are told, we'll cover this, but you have to discount what you would normally charge in order for us to provide insurance for your patient. So now after investing in the best chemistry, the best technology, the best people, that you would have to take a discount? Does that make any sense? And then have to fight with them when they reject a claim, you know, and from a patient or a customer point of view, just thinking back to that last time I had to do this, I'm thinking it takes somebody with a healthy degree of self-advocacy, communication skills, persistence, to not give up, because that's the easy thing to do after they say no, no, no 3-4 times, and then partnering with your staff who has to keep rewriting things, resending things. Oh, sorry, we didn't receive it. Well, we faxed it 3 times. Well, we didn't receive it. And that persistence of doing things over and over again, all of those hours, I think of like all of the extra hours that you have to pay someone to do that. And I can totally understand when a practice says, you know what, we're not going to take that insurance anymore, nor are we going to take that insurance anymore. We do offer this, and you can pay cash, and we do take credit cards, but we're not going to deal with that anymore.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the Blake Perry podcast. Please tune in next week, because we're going to continue the conversation with Rebecca.